Hey everyone, welcome to the 12th Man Insight Podcast. I'm Mo. I'm here with your boy Tommy. It's a new year, it's a new show, but it's the same old Seahawks, Tommy. No playoffs this year. Um, but damn, let's start with the breaking news though. Ryan Grubb fired after one season as Seahawks offensive coordinator. The guy's out. I was shocked. A lot of people weren't shocked. I was kind of advocating that I didn't like him too, and I was asking the Seahawks to look at another direction. But deep down inside of my mind, I thought they would give him another year because maybe like a rookie year, the guy could learn some stuff. But Tom, what do you think about the breaking news?
Yeah, it was definitely a good mix of surprised and not surprised. I've done my best to defend Ryan Grubb all season because it is hard to step in, coming from college, coming up to the NFL, and being a play caller, year one. And so I did my best to defend him, but ultimately the results were the results this year, and the Seahawks offense was bad. It held us back, and it's a weird flip from last season where it felt like the defense was holding us back, and
Mhm.
this year it's the offense. And so it's a results game, it's a results league. If you can't come out and produce results, then next man up. And so it's going to be an interesting search for Seattle. Mike McDonald obviously said he's going to be hands on, looking for our next guy, and I'm open to it. All the best to Ryan Grubb. I know he'll land on his feet, but it was definitely a decision that Seattle had to make, and I think the Seahawks will be better for it.
Yeah, yeah, man. Uh Ryan Grubb, man. I think what happened was maybe the guy was like, "Hey, I got better." And you know how in college it is. Like I got better receivers than you, so I'll just air it out. I won't put in the extra work to fool you, and attack scheme. And he said that on the press conference too. He said I was attacking personnel rather than scheme, and that's something I learned. And so I didn't see a lot of for example, in that Arizona game. So that he had a lot of success with that gap scheme, but the next game in Green Bay, he didn't go back to it. He didn't maybe run some play action off of it. He didn't innovate on what was working for him in that offense. So yeah, man, it's a difficult decision because on one side, you're like, oh man, he didn't have the right people to execute his scheme. But on the other side, you're like, hey, if you're an offensive coordinator and if you know that your scheme is not working based on what you have right now, do something different. Create a running game that works for what you have, and that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, when he is targeting personnel instead of scheme, I think that's where Seattle was lacking their offensive identity. When you're trying to mix it up week by week, just attacking the personnel on other teams, then you're not going to establish your identity. That you're not going to have like this is what we do, this is what we do well. When we continue to mix it up to attack different schemes. Also, not to mention, attacking personnel can work in college. It's not going to work in the NFL. I mean, I know Ryan Grubb knows this, but NFL players are good, all of
Yeah.
them. They're all very good, and so you can't just go single out one player and attack him the entire game in the NFL. It's just not going to work. I mean, the dude you're attacking is in the NFL for a reason. You can do it in college. There's definitely a bit more talent imbalance, but when you get to the league, everyone's good. You got to have your scheme, you got to have your identity, and that's who you have to be, and you have to allow the defense to game plan against that, and then you can adjust mid game according to what they're doing. And so, yeah, I mean so that was definitely a problem that I thought Seattle had faced, and it's especially tough too when you have Jason emerged this year. That is
Yeah.
promising, but then you look on the other hand, and DK Metcalf was down this year, and it
Mhm.
was a lack of targets, and not getting him involved in ways that I feel like went to his strengths. There's personnel to it. With your personnel when game planning on offense, use your personnel,
Mhm.
not the other team's personnel. And so you've got DK Metcalf, who is a freak athlete, has been very productive his entire career. We got to get him involved and pair him with JSN and make that a dangerous duo instead of DK just opening up for JSN.
Yeah.
And but in Ryan Grubb's defense, and this is the one defense I'll give him is it's hard to call plays when you can't run the ball. and it was a personnel thing. The interior offensive line was awful. It was awful. And the season's done. They did not make any steps this year. You know, maybe there was a lightning in a bottle game maybe from the interior, but overall they did not play well enough this year, and that definitely made Ryan Grubb's job a lot harder.
Yeah, yeah. And did you see? Because I agree with you, the offensive line had some issues, but did you see any creative scheme around that? Like maybe jets, a lot of jet sweeps, three-step drops, bubble screens. I didn't see those kind of creative alternative run game options from Ryan's Grove.
Well, I'm happy you say that because there's a play going viral from Washington last year. I forget what game it was.
Oh yeah, it was the
It
Apple Cup,
was
I think so, versus
it was
Wazoo.
the Apple Cup. Yes, yes, that's right. Where was that this year? Because
Yeah,
when it was 4th and 1 for us, we were going vanilla right up the middle and getting stuffed.
yeah.
You know, where was that? And
Yeah,
so I mean,
I was reading that in Twitter, and actually the Rams, took that play in the last game, and I think what's his name, the guy who was the offensive coordinator who was calling plays for McVay on the last game, um,
oh my goodness, drawing a blank on
Mike
the name.
Lafleur, Mike Lafleur, or Matt Lafleur? No, it's not Matt Lafleur.
No,
Uh,
no, it's not.
I think it's
I'm drawing a blank. I don't want to hold on to it too long, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly
yeah.
what you're talking about
Anyway,
there.
it's one of the Lafleur brothers, and so yeah, crazy man. I didn't see any of that, but hey, yeah, best of luck to Ryan Grubb, and yeah, let's hope for the best for Ryan Grubb.